Welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now, I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness, sharing my life stories with speech syndrome, OCD and the like, as well as also giving you guys some tips and tricks along the way of how to manage your everyday personal struggles of your mental health disorders if you've had any, or just personal struggles of what you may have that you're going through, with the pearls of wisdom to give you guys clarity, peace and understanding to what's going on, even though it's a busy, hectic world and we're trying to fit in the best way we can regardless of what we are as a person. So it has been brought to my attention, as I said, I'm trying to tidy up some loose ends on some of the playlist things that I may have introduced so far, like maybe the chronic illness and everything else before my specialised topic that I want to address to you all that is close to my heart right now. And obviously it's going to be a touchy subject, but I feel to address it anyway when it comes up. Please respect my opinions and my viewpoint of it based on my life experiences of what I've been through, and hopefully give and take. I will do the same for you guys, respecting your guys' point of view of whatever you may share in the comments below. So, in all further ado guys, this one's obviously going to try and tidy up for the chronic illness playlistings. This one's called How to Help Someone with the Chronic Illness. Before I begin this, as a disclaimer, I'm no medical professional doctor. I'm just your normal everyday Joe vlogs, just minding my own business, sharing my life stories regardless what it may be, as well as just every other day topics. So if you see any warning signs and symptoms that rings alarm bells to you or about your loved one or even yourself, do seek professional help or second opinion. So I say so many times, I can't stress it enough, I do not forever condone self-harm. So let's begin this of the how to help someone with a chronic illness. As I already know that living with a chronic illness, regardless of what type it is, it can be extremely difficult for those that do suffer from it. Okay, it's a given like that with anybody, however. Though perhaps living alongside with someone with chronic illness can be even harder, especially when you're experiencing or watching them go through their day-to-day routine and they're in so much pain, or whatever it may be that they're going through, and you feel like you're at a loss and you feel like, you don't know what to do. So for the ones who knew me before, before this time frame of what's going on, they think that it's now impossible to get the help, but that's why I'm here today, to straighten things out, to make it easier for us all to understand about how to help someone with chronic illness. And we need to be in these shoes obviously when it comes down to it. The first thing to know about is, some of this needs to be written down, even though some of it is easier for me to write down rather than to explain it every time, obviously, to people, because I've been experiencing it with my parents with their, health conditions. Even if you know me personally, how my parents try to strive forward and actually try to ignore their pain thresholds and whatever else sort of thing. They just go on their daily basics. Okay, but I'm guessing for people like my parents that they may vouch for what I'm about to say or for what I'm about to read out rings true to them, as well as many other people that suffers from chronic illness. So here goes. Number one, the days I seem fine are the days I most need you to remember I'm not. Okay, we know sometimes something hurts pretty much all of the time, regardless if it's an aching joint or us getting tired or whatever it may be. Okay, I'm going to be reading it through my parents' eyes about this, kind of chronic illness, because obviously for my parents' sake, that they know what it's like. Usually 2 or 3 of their symptoms are present at any given moment of time, and that majority of the time they're used to it. Just because they're not talking about it doesn't mean that they can't stop thinking or feeling about it. When they do mention it, however, it's probably because it's gone in way worse than the normal of that symptom that they're used to feeling. On the days when they do seem fine, it's only because they haven't said it otherwise. They need us to watch smiling through our conversation a lot deep enough to notice the parts of their body that they're trying to ignore off that pain threshold. They reckon if they promise and we practice, obviously get really good at noticing basically of what's going on. Sometimes many of them may tuck their hand under their head to put a finger on their ear when the ringing gets loud or the stabbing pain comes at the back there. They may shuffle their feet under the table when they're fighting vertigo. They may stop making eye contact when body forgets how to regulate temperature and a wave of heat hits their face. They may start leaning on things and wiggling their fingers when in mid-conversation. Their heart will let them know that they're standing too long. They may slouch and scroll through their phone mindlessly, not trying to be rude or disconnected from us, but to distract themselves in the moments when 5 or 6 times out of 10 of their symptoms decide to come all at once. They're always feeling something, even if it is not visible at that same period of time. Number 2, they may not tell you everything that they're feeling because they don't want to be a burden to us, but they do really want to tell us, regardless of their struggles. Obviously, if they were to tell us or let us know every time one of these symptoms is bothering them to us, they wouldn't have the time to talk about anything else to try and remove that factor or that feeling or the thought pattern of their pain threshold, regardless of what it may be. It may also be impossible to understand how something feels for someone else, even if we haven't felt it before, however. But it is not impossible to be aware of and appreciate what it might feel like. Obviously, as a key reminder to the ones that do stuff that they ask us to, please don't tell me you know how you feel, even if you truly believe you do. Ask me what you can do better to understand what they go through. Tell me you don't know what to do or say and you've just said the right thing. Slowly I will help you understand, but I can't if you already think you do. Number 4, I only need one thing from you. That's a big thing. Empathy. Like many other basically mental health disorders, and that many people would like empathy, not sympathy, obviously, and at this point of time they could wish to give us all the symptoms, for a day, because that would be the only way for us to truly feel empathetic enough in the way that we need to be. But empathy can also be learned by listening to others around them, seeing them for them, and living alongside with them when they're going through their everyday struggles. Sometimes, for example, you can get online and read about dysautonomia or Ehlers-Danlos syndrome or mast cell activation disorder and the like, obviously, which I'm hoping to share out more on these disorders later on. And then tell them that you did, and you will ultimately be on my list of the most empathetic friends and family I will already have. Be an observer and a good study of what's going on. Remember what I've told you here. Take note of all the little things each day that you might not have noticed before reading this, and then remember them. Become as good as catching onto my symptoms or bad days as I'm hiding them away from you. And I promise I will notice and greatly appreciate your efforts. Okay, most of you will never reach a place where you can be truly empathetic towards me. Okay, reading from experience from people who does suffer from this, and that's okay, but the best way to try is to be aware of this, how the smallest things you say and do can either have an incredibly positive or unbelievably negative impact on me. Put an extra few seconds of thought into the things you say around me, especially the things you might want to complain about around me. I want you to be honest and unashamed about expressing what you're feeling with me. I don't want you to feel like you have to walk around on eggshells all day around me, but do be mindful, however. Realize that though I try to practice empathy, it is sometimes difficult for me to hear your complaint. Since one comment about how tired you are and how your back hurts may feel to me like you've forgotten about or minimized something I feel and keep quiet about every single day. If in that moment you feel like you can manage without saying it, then don't say it at all, or at least acknowledge my experiences too. I want to be able to relate and empathize, but I will shy away from bringing up my own struggles for fear of overshadowing you. So obviously that will relate to number 2 of what I've just mentioned. Help me make a mutually safe space for sharing without competing or comparing to others. Empathy isn't always about actions and the right words, however, just to bear in mind. More often than not, it's about deliberate inaction and no need for words. It is mostly about knowing what not to say and realizing that sometimes the best thing you can do for them is just to sit silently beside them in the moments when they are hurting. I know that we will never truly understand of that person that's going through that, scenario of their chronic illness, but their only hope is that we can always still learn and actually be their supports through the good times and the bad. And the more that we learn about this, however, how to be there for them, and the more they will let you be there for them, obviously. So this quickly ends about a few tips on how to help someone with chronic illness. Give me the like for thumbs up for support, comment below if I missed out anything, or just anyone that I know of that maybe my subscribers or any visitors that comes on my channel. Feel free to share your life experiences so we can learn from each other, because I'm hoping this can be as user friendly as possible. Feel free to share these videos around to family and friends. Feel free to also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so, because I'm doing my videos as much as I can on the daily or weekly. Feel free to also remember to put the notification bell on so you know what Aspie's up to, where she is, and whatever else, to keep up to date and informed. Feel free to also basically follow me on social media sites listed below. So in all further ado guys, thanks for the support, thanks for watching, do what you love what you do. Until next time, Aspie signing out.